Hey folks. Okay, so I'm done with all the Bob Dylan albums. I've did all the commentary videos, so now it's time for the live albums you've been waiting for. Well, at least the first one I'm going to dive into, which is the first Dylan, really the first ever Dylan live album release, and that is Before the Flood. Now, of course, I don't have it. I don't have a physical copy of it or whatever. So it'll be on the thumbnail, so you'll see it once you hit on the video, whatever. So yeah, I actually really like. I kind of like this period where Dylan, he in '73 he did the Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and the soundtrack for that, and then because I think the reason why Dylan left, or maybe perhaps he took a deviation from Columbia was, I think it's because his contract was running out, I believe. Yeah, something with his contract. He was getting very down to I'm guessing maybe the Unsanctioned album was kind of like an obligation kind of thing. They're saying, well, you have to release this. That we need another album from you, Bob. And so they gave him the Unsanctioned album, which I'm pretty sure, and Dylan as well didn't even know that they even released that. You know what I mean? So even Dylan himself didn't really know, but that was just for contractual, right? Is that the word, contractual, or But anyways, Dylan ended up leaving Columbia, and he signs with David Geffen's record, label or whatever, which is Asylum Records. So he only releases 2 albums. Well, Before the Flood that I'm talking about, and from early in the year, January of '74, which is Planet Waves. So, and at the end of January is when Dylan and the band, since this is a kind of this is a collaborative endeavor or whatever. They did a live show on January the 30th of '74 in New York City. And then it wasn't until in February where they, because I believe there was like 10 shows or whatever that Dylan and the band did. And then in February, between February 13th and 14th, Dylan and the band performed at LA. And that's what makes up Before the Flood. So... this is quite a change for Dylan, because Dylan was quite a little bit laid back or whatever, kind of a little bit in his zone. But this album, man, he's just like, and I feel like it's kind of looking forward to, definitely the Rolling Thunder. You had that first leg there, '75, '76 or whatever, and then from there the late part of the year of '76 was the Hard Rain album. So so definitely a little bit of seeing what Dylan's vocals will eventually, or at least when doing it live, how he's presenting it and how he's giving it just this full on, just like, I'm going to sing this, I'm going to be energetic, I am going to really show my he almost feels like he throws no punches. Like Dylan just he just goes out there and he's singing his ass off, And I definitely got to give props to the engineer as well and I believe he also as well did. I don't know if he produced or engineered. Oh no, Dylan. Dylan was the one producing, and I believe for Planet Waves as well. But being the he did the mixing and the engineering, and give props there to Rob Fraboni, which I think he really just gives this album like just a life. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. You just hear in the crowd, and it's like it's pretty damn. It is actually a really very energetic and very. I want to say very lively live album. This was a double live album, and You know, I mean, really, you had some great damn live albums during that era. I mean, you had Grand Funk Railroad, their live album. You had Deep Purple live in Japan. I mean, just some great live albums during that time, you know. So, and pretty much throughout the whole tracks here, I mean, you have the first side here basically covering all Dylan songs, you know. So you go from stuff from Blonde on Blonde, you know, to stuff from, you know, Nashville Skyline, does stuff from, you know, got the Pat Garrett, you know, kind of the big song that was from the soundtrack, Knock on Heaven's Door. But man, once the band gets in, they kick it in or whatever, and you hear, you know, Levon Helm in there, man. It's just, damn, it's just incredible how this live album was mixed, you know. You get stuff, of course, from Big Pink, and stuff from actually going up to I think their latest one, which was Stage Fright from 1970. So, yeah, because then after that was Cahoots. So, and of course you got Dylan with the, you know, acoustic stuff, you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of jump around and kind of tell you what my favorite songs were from Before the Flood. So you got everything that Dylan's covering, pretty much from probably from the Freewheelin' all the way to, I think all the way to Pat Garrett. Because I believe he does the wedding song, I believe. So it's up to the latest album, Planet Waves. And man, he kicks in with Mostly Go Your Way and I Go Mine. Oh my God. He just like kicks into high gear, and he's like, just like, oh, he just feels like he just feels like, oh, look at this. You know, we have to split. We have to just go our way here. Like, I can't deal with you, you know? And of course you got Lay Lady Lay. But man, he just, again, like his, you know, you can tell that he's not just laid back. He's not doing the laid back thing. He's not being all, you know, like, I'm just gonna just let my mind kind of go at ease or whatever. But man, he's like, lady day, lay across my big bad bed. Yeah. And I like Rainy Day Woman. They're just so fun. Like, and then, you know, you got Ine Me Babe, you know. And of course, oh my goodness, A Ballad of a Thin Man. I mean, when that first chord gets hit, you know what I mean? You walk into the room with the pencil in your hand, the crowd just starts erupting. Like, the crowd is just enjoying every last bit of these songs here. Oh my goodness. And then you flip that album, you flip the side over if you have the record, and it's Up on Cripple Creek. Oh my God. Oh man, just, damn, it's just so, man, just no words, man. It's just, this live performance is great. And I even like them, I even like that live performance too from Woodstock. That was kind of a good one too. And yeah, the Last Waltz or whatever, you know. Oh yeah, I shall be released any day now. Oh, I love that one. And oh yeah, the night they drove old Dixie down. Yeah, I love that one too. Yeah, and then Dylan comes out with his acoustic guitar and he starts doing "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right." Now you may think it's kind of like his early years there. You may think it's, you know, that's how he's going to play it here. But you can see that he's messing with the chords a little bit, and you know how he's kind of rephrasing, taking lyrics out. And it's actually a really good performance too, as well, with Dylan's cover, or his version here of "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right," and "Just Like a Woman." Yeah, 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 and of course you got the Weight on here. But man, I love like the last few songs you have here. Oh no, so the wedding song is not here. No, so Dylan only goes up to the Pat Garrett, you know, Knocking on Heaven's Door. because I think that was kind of, yeah, because Planet Waves wasn't really, it was kind of a recently new album or whatever, you know, or at least when Dylan and the band were performing these songs, obviously, you know. But yeah, All on the Watchtower and Highway 61 revisited, some, you know, great stuff. And then you know, you got Like a Rolling Stone. Now when he does it, he kind of shifts things. Like, you know, like Dylan was always, I feel like every time he performs, you never know what he's going to do. You never know if he's going to switch a chord, he's going to rephrase, or, you know, pull in a different, you know, I mean, he's always switching things around. But man, and then you end it off with Blowing in the Wind. Wow, what a great song to end off with this live album. Yeah, so you know, and you got the people with the cigarette lighters. You know, I think that was actually in in L.A., I believe. Now I've definitely heard. I mean, and it actually did pretty damn well. It went to number 3, and went to number 33 in the UK. So I don't know. See, that's the problem with some people that really like Dylan, is that sometimes they don't really like, you know, when he's going out there on stage or whatever, and, you know, he's always, why does he always have to come out and rearrange a chord, or, you know, or rearrange the you know, a verse or something, you know. But it's interesting. I like the way Dylan performs, especially during, you know, this time as well in '74, which definitely leads and definitely to, you know, that Hard Rain and whatever. You know, he's completely just like laying it out. Like, you know, he's not really, you know, he isn't really, you know, I'm pretty sure most people probably don't care, but he'd rather just be a little different, you know. But anyways, that's me talking about Before the Flood. I definitely got to say it's actually a really good live album. Check it out. I think some of those, I mean, definitely the highlights definitely is probably Ballad of a Thin Man, and, you know, and Knocking on Heaven's Door, and you know, It's All Right, Mom, when he goes out there and people are just like screaming their asses off, you know. But that's all I got to say about Before the Flood. It is actually a really, really good live album. And if you so not care about it, hey, that's fine. You know, people have their opinions, and, you know, that's how it is in this world, or at least for people who love Bob Dylan. But anyways, folks, take care, and I'll see you next time, because my next commentary live album will be Hard Rain. So thanks, folks. Take care. Bye bye.